I'm Ellen, and today I'll be talking to Emily and Odette about the Festival of Dionysus. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Festival of Dionysus today, which is really cool. My first question for you guys is, when do you think the Festival of Dionysus took place? Like, what time of year would it happen?
I'm thinking because they're all outside, maybe like summer.
Oh, okay. What about you, Det?
See, I thought summer, but then I know it gets really hot in summertime.
Oh.
So I'm going to take a guess and maybe say springtime when it's a bit cooler.
That's a good point about it being hot.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I did study classics, so if I get it wrong, then exposed.
Well, I think we have to give points to Odette on that one, because it would actually take place in the springtime. It would take place during something called the Elphabolion, which was another ancient Greek festival which we know took place in the springtime. So that would be kind of the last half of March to the first half of April. And we do know that the Festival of Dionysus would start around the 10th or the 11th of March and finish around the 15th, which is how we know it ran for 5 days. It is thought that up to 16,000 people would attend the festival, and these wouldn't just be Athenian citizens, but also people who have travelled from other parts of Greece, and it would include men, women and children.
Wow.
So like the name might suggest, it was a festival to celebrate the Greek god Dionysus, who was the god of a lot of things, but one of them was theatre.
Doesn't have any arms or feet in that statue. He has arms.
It looks like he's holding like a cup.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, he was the god of wine, so he's probably just very chilled out, isn't he? Although I don't know how that explains why he has no hands or feet, but...
So how many playwrights do you think would participate in the Festival of Dionysus?
Odette, do you want to go first? No, I know it. I'm pretty sure it's 3. I'm going to get it in.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the same just because lucky number, but I think it's 3 or 4. Like my lucky number's 3. So
about 11 months before the festival actually took place, all these playwrights would apply to someone who's called the chief magistrate, and they would apply to them to have their plays accepted, but that's also how they were given their Greek chorus. So we don't know how many playwrights would apply. We do know that only 3 of them would be selected. So you were both right. Yay! Once they were selected, they would be assigned basically a producer, so someone who would finance the play for them, doing the job that me and Emily do.
That's so cool. I didn't realise they had that back then.
The playwrights would often direct the plays and act in them, and they're often called the diaskolos, which I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation of, which means teacher or trainer, because they would be the ones who direct the chorus and the main action of the play. So the stories in the plays would probably be based on like the ancient past and Greek mythology. So the audiences would probably already know the story and the plot to the plays they were watching.
Well, I guess that would be quite good to have like a familiar story, because if you're all the way up in the gods and you don't really like know what's going on, at least you can kind of know the story, so you can kind of see it, even if you can't sort of hear everything or know exactly what's going on. You've got a rough idea.
Yeah, because they couldn't exactly like Google the plot in the interval, which I have done before in long, complicated plays. Been on Wikipedia.
Gosh, in some short plays, honestly.
So the festival would begin with 2 days of introduction. On the first day, there would be a huge parade, and they would take this sacred statue of Dionysus from outside the city walls, and they would bring it to the theatre of Dionysus, which was near the Acropolis. While they were doing the parade, they would pause in like this little market square where there were statues of all 12 of the Greek gods, and a chorus would do like a little song and dance to the statues of the gods to like pay tribute and pay their respects to them.
Why is this like a big Disney parade? Like
I know, I love it. When people did the parade, they would wear like brightly coloured clothes and gold ornaments and jewellery and masks. And some people would be on foot and some people would go by chariot. So that is the theatre of Dionysus, and that is a statue of Dionysus. Couldn't find any pictures of the statue that they would take to.
I thought you were going to say the Dionysus.
Yeah, I
couldn't find any pictures of him. Weirdly
It was a
enough.
god.
So while they were doing this parade, they would sing something called dithyrambs, which were like these great choral hymns which were all dedicated to Dionysus. And again, these would be sung by epic Greek choruses. So then after they did this big parade, they would go and have an afternoon of celebrating and feasting. And then they would move the statue of Dionysus actually into the theatre in the evening, so that when the performances started, Dionysus could also watch them. So then they would have like a night of recovery. And then on the second day of the Festival of Dionysus, it would start with another procession in the morning. But this procession was being led by what they called the war orphans, and they would parade in honour of their fathers who had gave their life to the city. The orphans would get the front row seats at the theatre for the rest of the festival. How cute is that?
That's so nice.
The Greeks had it right. Oh my god. Oh, that's so cute.
And after this, finally, they would begin the performances. So, another question for you guys. How many plays do you think would be performed over the festival?
I'm pretty sure that they did 3 because the Greek plays are like trilogies. So I'm pretty sure it's 3, and there's three playwrights. So 9.
Okay, you're saying
9. I'm gonna say
9.
9. Maybe like a couple more. I don't know. 9.
Yeah.
9 to like 100, like something.
You're definitely right somewhere along the line there. I'm trying to think though. I don't know why, but I've got it in my head that they had to do 4 each, because I swear it was they did the 3 tragedies and then they had to do like a satire or a comedy to kind of like ease up the tension a bit of light-hearted relief. It's like when you watch a horror film and then after you're like, I need to watch some Disney or something.
Yeah, I need to watch like The Little Mermaid now.
They would, each playwright would bring 4 plays, but the plays you're right would consist of a trilogy of tragedy plays, which would all come from the same story. It would just kind of be in 3 parts, and then 1 satire or satire play, and that would actually be what they called a course comedy, but it would be on the same topic as the tragedy. So that's what they would do. It wasn't for a long time that comedy was introduced, and actually there was a different ancient Greek theatre festival which was dedicated just to comedic plays, which came along later. So you're right, there would be about 12 plays being performed. Over the following days, they would perform all of the plays, and then the festival would end with the awarding of prizes. Some records we have suggest that there may have been a monetary prize, but quite a lot of them just seem to suggest that all was in it was like a wreath and the prestige of the title. So we're not really sure.
Like the Bake Off cake stands. Sort of
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I love how they chose their winners. Each Athenian tribe would put names into an urn, and at the start of the festival, they would pick names out of the urns. So 1 name was drawn from each, and there was 10 Athenian tribes, and that would make up the judging panel of 10 people. And then of the 10 judges, all of them would cast a vote, but only 5 of those judges would be randomly selected to determine the winner.
Oh my goodness.
What
It's
a
so
democratic
democratic.
way. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
It's so fair. And then, as you can probably guess, because they really loved the procession, at the end of the festival, they would do another great procession to celebrate the winner.
Just lots of parties.
Aw.
Great.
Big party, people.
Thank you, Ellen. That was great.
Yeah, thank you.